Jason Scheer, Wildcat Authority. We brought this up earlier, Jason. That's good to see you, my man. By the way, Paul, you texted Jason, I think it was sometime yesterday.
Yesterday.
He did a very unselfish act and gave his daughter his cell phone for most of the entire day and never saw your text.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I'm glad to know that because it really, it felt like all of a sudden we have you on the very next day. It's like, well, I'm not going to say yes to Paul.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
But smoky ass, I'll do it.
Hey, what's that bag? Is that a lunch somewhere? You and Andy, Brian, 316, you and Iron Mike, Luke? Were you guys?
Yeah, we have the AZ12 podcast. One of our sponsors is this place called Baggett, and it's a great sandwich place here. Only in Tucson. There's one in Phoenix, but it's become like a running theme. Whenever someone goes, they have to send us a picture.
Well, we just gave them some extra pub for you, so you can tell them that they got some pub throughout the country with us too. All right, so Arizona, we brought this up. Of the teams that have joined the Big 12, Houston, of course, in men's basketball, we know what they've done. But these two Arizona schools, Arizona now with what they did in basketball, but now baseball, and then Arizona State in football have given the Big 12 a nice little juice, a little adrenaline rush.
Yeah, and it's been fun. You know, in Big 12 baseball, while different, very competitive, and you know, the Big 12 regular season, the conference tournament was really fun, and I think if anything, it's lifted up these Arizona schools, and that was a big concern. Whenever you join I should say whenever, it's not like it happens often, but when you join a new conference, you want to make sure you're competitive, and I think both Arizona schools have done a nice job of that for the most part.
Do you feel that they came out of nowhere a little bit, or was this maybe a little bit more expected by everyone in Tucson, but nobody anywhere else?
You know, with baseball, it's interesting because they're out of conference schedule. Chip Hale's philosophy on that is basically to schedule as hard as possible, and they had a very difficult out of conference schedule. And towards the end of the season, they lost 2 of 3 to Utah, and they weren't playing well. And we were wondering if they were, even if they kind of went downhill there. There were people that were wondering if they were even going to make the postseason. And all of a sudden, they turned it back on. They won the conference tournament. And this is the Arizona team that I think most people expected during this season, because it's a very well-built team. There's weaknesses, of course, but I think people around the program, this is kind of what they expected to see all season.
So they are no strangers to Omaha. I mean, they were there just 4 years ago. They've been there, 5 times since 2000. So a pretty regular trip for them, actually. But what does this mean to be going in 2025? Do you feel like for the program, for the fan base?
The Lumi Charge is an all-in-one home desk lamp, speaker, and phone charger. It is a great holiday gift for students. And guess what? Everybody in our studio audience is going home with the Lumi Charge all-in-one desk lamp. This desk lamp retails for $100.
That's amazing. I need that for my son when he goes off to college.
It means a lot because, Chip Hale, there's been some good Arizona teams under Chip, and they've hosted, and they couldn't get to a super regional. They've had some very, very disappointing postseason appearances, and there's some skepticism. And to be back in Omaha is a very big deal because this, like you mentioned, Arizona has a rich baseball tradition. Like, it feels like Arizona belongs in Omaha. They've won 4 national titles. They've done, well recently. So it's been nice in the community. You could tell that Arizona fans are really excited about this and really supportive. And it's kind of like, basketball and football are always going to be the big sports, but this is a baseball town. Arizona overall as a state is very baseball oriented. So when this happens, there's a ton of excitement going around the university.
I was looking at their schedule you brought up, and these teams were all a part of the tournament. Ole Miss, Clemson, Louisville, A&M. I mean, they were ranked. They weren't a part of the tournament. They didn't make it in, but we know where they were early in the year. Mississippi State, I know they changed their – Tennessee, plus the schools in the Big 12. They are very much battle-tested. What is more of a rivalry, Arizona State, Arizona in football, men's basketball, or baseball?
I would say football, probably. Basketball, it's really not. I would say, the conference changes stuff, but with basketball, like to me at least, when they were in the same conference, UCLA was the bigger rival than ASU, just because of history and all that. Baseball is very close when you go with the postseason numbers and all that. They're neck and neck, but football, I think it's a level of hate. Like when the football teams play, it's just a different kind of hate and dislike between the two fan bases. Basketball, it's kind of accepted. Arizona's better. Baseball's pretty even. It might vary year to year, but football, it's just a different level of animosity when they play.
What do you think about their matchup early on in the College World Series? And given the fact that they bounced back from an absolute shellacking on Friday to beat a team that a lot of people I thought that North Carolina was going to win the dang thing because of their pitching was so good. Are they playing as confident as you possibly can and with short memories? Because that Friday thing could have broken most teams.
Yeah, I mean, I thought North Carolina was the best team in the country and I did not expect Arizona to go to Chapel Hill and beat UNC, and then they lose 18-2 in the first game. And while you're not expecting it to be that bad, you're like, okay, yeah, North Carolina's really good. I think the thing with Arizona is they don't give up, and we saw it this past weekend. The culture that Chip Hale has built there is extremely impressive, and they could have, things looked down in that last game too. And if the North Carolina second baseman doesn't make the error, they may wind up going on to lose that game. But they've always believed under Chip, and they've had some major comebacks this season. They're a confident team, but they're loose. And you'll see it on TV if you guys haven't before. They do a thing where they introduce a toy before the game, and the best player of the game in a win will get that toy, and they love it. They go nuts for it. You'll see them wearing it, and even Chip Hale doesn't know where it started, but they have bananas in the dugout, and they're goofing off, and they're doing rally hats with bananas and stuff like that. So they're confident, but they're loose. And I think that's key, is the fact that they're still having fun with the game of baseball. And they're underdogs again. They were underdogs in Eugene. They won it. They were underdogs in North Carolina. They won it. And they'll be underdogs against Coastal. And it doesn't faze them at all.
I guess the most important question, Jason, is how will Arizona fans stack up in the Jello shot competition in Omaha?
Look, I don't know if they could beat Arkansas and LSU.
Yeah.
That's a different. But it's funny. I saw there was a website that had betting odds on it.
Oh,
and
wow.
Arizona was fourth. And, we're looking for a top 3 finish, but I have a bunch of friends that are going, and they've been retweeting and said, we can't get embarrassed. And Arizona fans can drink. I don't know if it's the same as the LSU and Arkansas of the world, but I think Arizona's gonna make a strong showing.
Hey, I want another question, and we might get into a couple of football questions too before we let you go. I was asking about competition between Arizona and ASU. What about in golf? I mean, there's a rich history between those two programs. But Paxton wanted me to ask you that question.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona schools, that's another thing. Golf is very big here. ASU's had a ton of success. Arizona has national championships with women's golf as well. It's fun. I mean, it really is. That's another one where both teams are obviously really well coached, and there's a long history there. And again, I know the focus is often on the major sports, but the Olympic sports at Arizona have a very rich tradition, and ASU as well. And it's a big deal here.
Jason, what do you think about the tournament and coming to Arizona?
I love it. I mean, I wish it was in Tucson, but I love it. I like it a lot. I like it moving. I didn't go to the one in Globe Life. I've heard great things about Globe Life. I would absolutely go in the one in Surprise. It's a great facility up there. You wonder about the heat, but it's exciting. And again, it's different. Like new teams in the Big 12, you move things around, and it'll be fun. I'm excited to get out there.
We have been to Surprise Stadium many times, covering the Rangers at training camp when we used to go cover it there, and it is a gorgeous facility. Yeah. The dual roles of both the Royals and the Rangers, the facilities are phenomenal. It's kind of on the northwest side of Phoenix too, right? Where it's a little more, it's crowded, but it's not as condensed or not.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. It's different than Phoenix. It's a little bit calmer, but like you mentioned, it's not as condensed. I like Surprise. There's so many towns and cities on the outskirts of Phoenix that maybe aren't as busy as Phoenix or Tempe, where ASU is, but really nice facility, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
So football, we have Big 12 Media Days in early July, the 8th and the 9th, so we've got a little bit of time for that.
A month, basically. A month away.
It's almost like I said, I have anxiety thinking about it, but I look forward to it because we have great access and we'll be there for full days, both days. So where are they? We've talked to you back during spring when it ended, but anything that has changed, any kind of direction or thought process on where they are with the football program?
There's confidence internally. I'm of the belief you got to see it to believe it, because they were bad last year. I would expect that media day they're going to be picked to finish last or second to last. It's probably Arizona and West Virginia is my guess. But, I will say that and people know him out there in Texas, Seth Doege it's a whole different attitude on offense. And last year, Arizona had no idea what they were doing on offense, no philosophy, no identity. It was bad. I mean, I can't stress enough just how lost the offense looked. Seth Doege knows exactly what he wants to do. He has a certain confidence about him and how he operates. And so there's confidence that the offense will be better. They still have weapons. The offensive line is kind of a bit of a question, but the skill positions are good. The expectation is Noah Fifita will bounce back. I'll say this: the coaching staff believes that they're going to surprise people. And when I talk to them, I don't think it's BS. I don't think it's fake confidence. I really, truly, from what I gather, this coaching staff, while they don't think they're going to win the national title or anything, they believe that they're going to surprise people based on expectations that were built last year.
Jason, thank you very much. Can't wait to see. Are you going to be in Frisco? Or are you going to make that trip, or going to cover it from afar?
I'm probably going to cover it from afar, but we'll see.
All right, buddy. We'll see you. We'll see you down the road. Thank you so much for all your knowledge and time. That's Jason Scheer with us, Wildcat Authority. The Wildcats, Arizona, as they open up against Coastal Carolina in the Baseball World Series in Omaha.